Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI related tutorial by Slidescope. In this part we are learning about creating a dynamic measure in filter in Power BI. So first we will learn how to create a dynamic measure and how to use it in filter. Now what is a dynamic measure? For example, here you can see we have a filter, and when we are changing the filter value, our measure is also changing in the graph. If you will select this graph, so here we are just loading a value, and in the load value we have written some DAX here. So on the basis of our selected filter value, we are going to bring a selected function here. If you want like total profit, total quantity, total sales, you can also bring average profit, average quantity, average sales, and so on. So you will just use switch statement to apply this formula. So in this part you are going to learn this, okay, how to create this dynamic measure, and on the basis of dynamic measure how to create this filter, because usually we can only load one measure inside our one metric inside our y-axis, but here we are going to load multiple measures or metrics inside our y-axis with the help of this switch filter here. So let's see how can we do it. So in order to create this type of project, first of all we will load the dataset. This is a CSV file, so I will simply get the CSV file here. Now this is CSV file, I will simply load it, and after loading it will appear on my data pane. Obviously there are around 9,000 plus rows, so it will take time. Now after loading it, I will simply rename it to sales data, so that whenever we'll write our queries it will be easy. So this is sales data. Now create a simple line chart, and in line chart we will display sales by a particular date period. For example, we will display sales over months. So we will choose month on x-axis, and we will display sales on y-axis. This is monthly sales. Suppose we want to display monthly profit, so we have to drag it here. If you want to display quantity, you can drag it like this. If you want to display all of them together, you can display like this. Now as you saw, if we have to create a filter, and if user selects that particular filter, then this measure will change dynamically. So we will select only one of them, not all of them, and it will be selected dynamically. So for that, the first thing that we will create, we will go to new measure and call it total sales. Total sales will be sum of sales. So sum of sales data, and in sales data we will have sales column. So this is going to be total sales. We will copy it, and this will create a measure total sales for us. If you bring it here, you will see the same graph. Similarly, we will again go to modeling tab, new measure, and we will call it total profit, and we will simply use profit here. So this way total profit will be created, and we are using sum. You can also select average, you can also select any other thing. So we are selecting sum of profit, and again modeling new measure and quantity. So we will write total quantity. So total quantity, and that will be nothing but sales data, sum of sales data, total quantity. Now our three measures are created. Now total profit, total quantity, total sales will be created. After this, we have to create another table, that will be a calculated table. In that calculated table, we are going to create these three values. Okay, so this will be a new table. So we will rename this table as sales measure. Remember, here you will write curly bracket, end it with curly bracket. In curly bracket, we have brackets. So in round brackets, what we are writing is total sales, name of sales data sales. So we are calling them sales here. So here we will simply write total sales, total profit, and total quantity, the names that we have created for our measures. So here remember you have to select the measure and not the actual column. Okay, so this is the measure here. So we have these three measures here. So this is another graph there. So in this table we will create, and now we have these measures. So when you will open measure, you will see value 1, value 2 and value 3. Value 3 is here. So now when you will go to table, what you have to do now, what you have to do, just go to that table, select measure and disable view of value 2, view of value 3. Only value 1 will be visible, and rename this value to sales measure or select measure, whatever you count, whatever you want to write, select measure. Now this select measure, once it is brought into the filter, so how to bring that into a filter? So you will use slicer here, okay, not here, but click outside and bring a slicer. So we will place the slicer anywhere on graph. Obviously here we only have two values, but you can also place it anywhere in your filter also, right? Anywhere in your entire dashboard. Here in field you will use select measure, and you will be seeing total profit, total sales and total quantity. Okay, so this way your measure is dynamically there. You can go to data and values and increase value size. So you can select value size and make it bold so that people can see it, right? When we are selecting this, nothing is happening. This is because in this particular field only total sales is selected. Instead we will select measure here. It will display count of this, but we will not use count here. Now obviously you are just seeing a flat line here, and when you select total quantity or total sales or this, you can see nothing is changing here. This is count of select measure. We will again go to table view, go to select measure, and summarization is don't summarize. Okay, now there is one final step. So in your main table, just create a measure. The measure that we will create is called load value. Here we are going to use switch statement. So switch statement, the first argument that we have to provide is selected measure that we just created. So selected measure will be selected value from our select measure. Okay. In select measure, we have written names of these columns, and the names are total sales, total profit, total quantity. This is something we are going to display in field, and now on the basis of selected measure, this will be loaded, the data will be loaded in one measure, that will be selected measure, and then in load value we will provide three conditions. So three switch case here. So switch selected measure, if total sales is selected, then display sum of sales data. If total profit is selected, display sum of profit. Total quantity is selected, display sum of quantity. And now in your graph, what you have to do, simply drag the load value. Now when you will select total profit, it will show total profit. When you will select total quantity, it will show total quantity by month and total sales by month. Here you can see in title it is showing load value by month. So in title you also have a function. So format style, what field should we select? So let's say we from select measure we will select the select measure value. Let's see. So this is total sales, total quantity, total profit. This way you can change the title also. We can select it, whatever you want to select here you can select, and this way you will be able to see the dynamic title also. So this is a simple example, and with which you can create a simple dynamic filter like this. Again, you can style it any way you want. If you like this tutorial, please subscribe to our channel because we are going to bring more important concept related to Power BI and data analysis on our channel.